And we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, and you are listening to the Smoke Show. I'm joined with my co-host Bobby, and it's a wacky Wednesday. I think that's the right term for it, wacky Wednesday, or I don't know what we're gonna call Wednesdays, wild take Wednesdays, whatever the hell you want to call it. It doesn't really matter to me. So as you know, Bobby, we're coming off our first win of the season, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that we're 1-0. However, though, it doesn't seem that the fan base is too thrilled about it. And here's my stance on it. So, me and you, we're both diehard Dolphin fans, right? We've been Dolphin fans our whole life.
Oh yeah.
Ever since I've been born, we've sucked, right? So, anytime that we beat the Patriots by double digits, I'm going to be happy with that. Like, is there things that we should clean up? Absolutely. But if you're going to sit here and be pissed off because we won a game, I mean, that's crazy. Like, be happy with the win. Watch the film, watch it back, be like, okay, we could change this, we could change that, and we'll be even better of a football team. But I just don't understand how your team is 1-0. You beat the Patriots by 13 points, and you're over here throwing a tantrum.
I'm in the same boat, bro. Like I'm ecstatic with the win, so happy. Like we could be the Colts right now and have went out there and tied like to an inferior team. We could have went out there and let one slip up. Like anything could have happened in that game. Instead, we won the game. We covered the number, which always makes me happy from a
Yep.
gambler perspective. When your team's covering numbers, it's a beautiful thing because it means you can bet on them all you want. And we look solid. We look good. Like people are acting like we look like complete and utter dog shit and lucked our way into that win. The Dolphins were the better team, in my opinion. And I think
Way
most people
better
who watched the
team.
game, the Dolphins were the better team. Was there some mistakes here or there? Was there some things we can clean up? Absolutely. I think that goes true for most teams that get a win. They feel like there's stuff they can do better. But people that are a little too negative, man, looking for stuff to nitpick. And I get it. Like people are nervous to buy in on the Dolphins, like fully in. And I am too. Like my guard is up because of how many times they've let me down. But right now, I'm just trying to enjoy the good times, stay calm, still look for stuff we can improve on. But man, I'm happy going into week 2. If we can grab another one, sky's the limit. I'll be through the roof. And that's kind of how I feel right now. So I'm a positive Dolphins fan. I don't know if there's a ton of them, but I'm one of them.
Okay, I feel that. And honestly, they're already saying it in the comment section, so I do want to bring this up. I was going to save this for later. Nobody is throwing a tantrum, but this feels exactly like last year in every way with just a little more competence on the offense side of the ball. I believe I said that on Monday when I was talking about Tua Tagovailoa. I believe the Dolphins as a whole, like the offense looked better, at least play design. The defense looked great. But I agree. I didn't see any improvement from Tua. Like there wasn't anything that he put on tape on Sunday where I was like, wow, Tua got better at that. Because my biggest problem was ball security. He put the ball on the ground and stopped trying to be a superhero, and he almost gifted the New England Patriots that interception. Now, do I think he can improve and get better? Sure. But until I see it with my own two eyes, I'm not just going to give that to him. And to be fair, because I think Patrick makes a pretty solid point, and I'm 90% sure I said it on the show. I said this team looks like it did last year, but with better play design and better weapons on offense. Now, if Tua cleans that up, then that's the improvement for me. I know what he is. I know what I'm getting out of him. But he's got to stop with the bonehead plays, and he needs to understand when the play's over and just let the play die.
No, I mean, I'm with you on Tua there. I didn't come away from that game saying, oh my God, look at the step he's taken forward. We have QB1 in our back pocket. What I did is I watched the game. I saw some stuff like plays that Tua should have made or could have done a better job of. But then on the other side, I definitely saw some great plays. Like that touchdown he threw on 4th and 7 where he looks off the linebacker. If you guys see Dan Orlovsky, he just put out a tweet breaking the whole thing down. That play happened because of Tua. I firmly believe that, and an unbelievable play call, might I add.
Well,
But that play,
How about Jalen Waddle being able to run a 4-2 and split 3 defenders? That might have something to do with it too, brother.
no, factual. But I'm saying just the concept of that play, Tua looks that linebacker off, and it's clear as day. So there are some positives I took away. There's definitely some negatives. Would I like to see Tua improve still? Definitely. But am I ready to say, like, Tua is terrible, Tua is trash, throw him away, he's garbage? I'm not there. Might I get there throughout the season? Sure. But we knew what we had going into this season. It's been one game. I'm going to give it a little bit more time to develop and mature and see what I can get. I'm not going to rush
Right.
for a reaction or just jump ship and say it's over with, because Dolphins fans got to face the facts that there's not much of another option this year. Like
Right.
this current moment, there's not
Great
much of a
point.
second option.
Great point. And I want to piggyback off of that. Look, we're not judging Tua based off 1 week. We're not judging Tua off the next week. We're judging him over a full season. Now, however, if he copies and pastes his performance from week 1 all the way to week 18, do I believe he's the quarterback that this franchise needs if they want to start winning playoff games and Super Bowls? Absolutely not. I don't. I did not see that from week 1. Now, my opinion will change week to week to week. And then by the end of the year, I'll have enough data to be like, okay, this guy is either going to be our guy or he's not going to be our guy. And I don't want to plug in Teddy Bridgewater. I don't. I really don't want to see Teddy play. We took Tua with the 5th overall pick. It's ride or die. We went into this season knowing it is make or break year for Tua. Let it plan out. Now, you could take the individual performance, which we're going to do. That's our job. That's our fans' job. We love to sit there, critique, analyze, and also give flowers when flowers are meant to be given.
Definitely.
And we're going to go week by week by week. And based off what I saw week 1, that was not enough for me. But the best part about that is it's only week 1, and there's 17 more weeks to go. So if Tua progresses and he gets better, that's the best thing possible for the Dolphins. That makes me happy. That makes you happy. That makes everyone in the comments happy. So I'm not going to just sit here and say, you know what? The kid sucks. Let's put Teddy Bridgewater in after 1 game, because the kid still threw for 270 and a touchdown. Now, if we got lucky because we recovered the fumble and they dropped the pick, then me and you, we might be having a completely different story here on Wednesday afternoon. But in the meantime, there's no rush to say, you know what? This kid sucks. Let's put Teddy in the game. I don't see that happening. I think that would be a major disaster for the Miami Dolphins, and we would look like clowns. McDaniel would look bad. Tyreek Hill would look bad. The front office would look bad. Everyone would look terrible if they just jump ship on Tua after the first week or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, man. And what does everyone call week 2 in the NFL? It's overreaction week. Everyone sees one game, and all of a sudden what you saw is what's going to happen all year long. I get it.
And we were 1-0 last year, remember? We were 1-0 last year.
1-0 last year. I was on top of the world, and then the sky fell on top of my head. So I get it. And I get the overreactions. Everyone's a fan. Everyone just wants to believe or have a faith in something. So they kind of overreact, and that's what happens. But if you judge NFL off a 1-game basis, you're never going to have a good understanding. Because if you go off 1 game, like Jalen Phillips sucks, complete bust, never going to have a sack this year. No, man. He just had a tough matchup, didn't play the best game. I'm still backing him going forward. And same with Tua. But he's going to have good games, I hope, and I'm hoping to see more. I think the offense only had, 7 or 8 possessions total, so it's not like we were running a ton of offense. So I love, and that's the NFL, like you just said. He's going to get another week to prove it next week, and we're going to see and go from there. We can't judge guys on 1-week basis. We're going to kind of broaden our spectrum, but in those 1 games, we're going to go through and tell you what we see, and we definitely saw some stuff that wasn't great from Tua, so that is what it is. But I can go further than Tua. I can say we didn't see great stuff from the run game. I mean, I'm concerned there. I would say I'm more concerned about our run game than I am about Tua at this current moment. Is that a hot take?
Yeah, I think that's a very hot take, because I think there was a couple plays where if our tackles just knew who to pick up, like before we said hike, obviously pre-snap effective communication, noticing, all right, the safety came down, it's my job to get this guy. We would have ran the rock, dude. We would have ran the rock. I mean, we still put up 65 yards. It's not good. It's not great. But there was a couple plays, and we also had some really plays that got blown up that are going to kill you as well. And like me and you, we were very concerned about the run game in the preseason. I know it's the preseason, but then they went out there and ran for 225. I think the run game is only going to get better the more time that the offensive line has to gel. And the same argument could be made for Tua, the more time that he has to get on the same page with Tyreek and all of them, then he'll only get better. So I hear what you're saying, but I think the run game, just based off play design and the ability to plug in Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Gaskin if you have to, I think they have more athleticism at that position, and I think the run game it'll figure itself out. But we got to talk about the biggest conspiracy in the world.
Oh yeah.
JFK, is Hitler in Brazil
9/11.
or Argentina, 9/11. You know, you got all these conspiracies, but none of them compare to Tipgate.
This is serious stuff here.
And to be real with you, Bobby, I don't think the ball got tipped. And I'm only bringing this up, not that I care about it anymore. Like, I don't care. We won 20-7. I just care about, like, you know, like proving the conspiracy that I'm on the right side of it. Like, I don't care about the outcome of the play anymore. It is what it is. But there's no way that this gets tipped.
Smoke,
Like,
what's the over-under on number of times you've watched this video? I'm just curious.
100 times. Oh, at least
I could
100
imagine.
times. He's left-handed. Judon is rushing to the opposite side of his throw hand, and he doesn't put up his inside hand. He might. I think it's his outside hand. Let me see. Oh, see, why is NFL Plus always tripping on me? This isn't even the right play. Yeah, that was the right play. All right, this is it. All right. Watch it. Okay, so it's his outside hand. I was right. So he's rushing on the other side of his throwing arm. He puts up his outside hand to his arm. Look at where his arm is, all the way over here. Ball was already out. The ball. I think the ball might already be out before he puts his hand up. There's no way that makes contact.
It's hard to make a case that it made contact. I mean, the more you look at it, the ball doesn't seem to change angles or like deflect really. Usually if someone hits a ball and he's got a spiral on it, it's going to start turning end over end or something crazy.
It's a tight spiral the whole way. And here's the thing this is why I don't think it got tipped. And shout out to my man Dougie. It did not hit his helmet. Dude, that ball didn't even come close to his helmet. That's the one I'm not buying into. Like, that was not even close.
Helmet? Is that a different theory? I don't even know if I've heard that theory yet.
Yeah, some people think it went off his helmet. Like, there's no way that went off his helmet. No, it's not broadcast. Let me do sideline. All right, watch this. I don't want to spend the whole episode, but we have to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Got to.
Again, I don't care about, like, I'm over it. Shout out my man Dougie. So, watch the route Waddle runs and what Tyreek Hill. Like, they're probably going to run the same exact route. Tyreek's like, damn, this corner sat. Like, I could take off and clear it. And I just think they're on the wrong page. Because look at where Waddle ends up, and then look at where Tua's pass ends up.
I agree. I think that is
exactly I think Tua's thinking Tyreek is going to sit here in the zone, catch it, and take off. Like, Waddle's over here, and he's thinking Tyreek should be over here. That's my take. Because look, here, ball's out. The ball's already out. Look where Waddle is.
Yep. He threw it to a spot.
Tyreek keeps going. Waddle's coming back to the ball, and boom.
Yep. No, I agree. He threw it to a spot. There was a play set up. Tua saw the coverage. And I think that if Tyreek cuts that in like Jalen does, he's probably there to make that catch. So Tua threw it to a spot. That was the play call. But Tyreek Hill, being the athlete and the superstar he is, he saw a corner that was sitting flat, and he knew it was 6 points. He could take him up the sideline. Tua didn't get a chance to read that and throw it. The high snap, that's the part about the video that drives me crazy the most, is every time you watch it, you have to watch the high snap to start the game, and it just triggers my anxiety for whatever reason. But I think that's definitely what it was, miscommunication. But I will say one thing I love that Tyreek Hill's looking at that and saying, I have that guy beat. I'm taking it 6. If he can get on the same page with Tua on plays like that, and then all of a sudden Tua sees what Tyreek sees, they throw that thing up, that's 6. So I do like that from that perspective, but the boys need to get on the same page 100%.
Him and Tyreek need to get on the same page, because that play, it was on this drive, the wheel route to Ingold. If you look at Tyreek, he's putting his hand up, but he's got 2 defenders 5 yards in front of him. But in Tyreek's mind, he's like, I got them beat. He's like, I'm going to clear these guys. And I was watching it live, and from where I was sitting, I was like, oh my God, bro, Tyreek smoked those dudes. And I just don't think Tua's ever seen anything like that before. Dude, if your guys only have 5 yards on Tyreek Hill, they're beat. Like, in my opinion, they're burnt toast. He blew right past them. And once Tua's like, yo, I got a guy like that, I think he's going to start letting that rip, because that could have been a big play too. But, I mean, all in all, it is what it is. They definitely got to get on the same page, though, because McDaniel said in the press conference that, like that crossing route that Tyreek had, and people were like, oh, that's a bad ball. Like, he's got to hit that.
Yeah.
Remember what I'm talking about? If he catches it, he probably would have took it to the house, too. He said that was kind of on Tyreek. And on his route, like Tua was expecting this, or I don't know, I guess Tyreek faded the route or some bullshit, and they were just on the wrong cue. So they obviously have some kinks to work out, but just considering the fact that they weren't on the same page, and he had 8 catches for 94 yards, and he was a touchdown away from a gigantic day. I mean, just wait till these guys are on the same page. Like, it's going to get scary down here in South Florida.
Yeah, dude, it really is. And that's growing pains with not a new team, but with new players, new coaches, new stuff. It happens all around the league. It's not just a case of Tua fucking up. This happens all over the place. It's week 1. These guys are trying to get communication and timing down. And I think that they will. It will get better. And just seeing that clip you talked about of Tyreek throwing his hand in the air when there's 2 defenders like literally right in front of him is just that's crazy to me. And it just gets me so excited because once they do get on that same page and they start trusting each other, it's going to be disgusting because Tua's going to be able to just throw it up. And Tyreek's going to go get it, bro. He really is. So they do got to get on the same page 100%, but at least you can find kind of a silver lining in that once they do, it's going to be who knows, man.
The best part is it's week 1. They got 17 more weeks to become best friends. Biffles. They ran out of the tunnel together, by the way. I thought that was pretty cute.
That
was cute.
Tyreek's doing everything. Tyreek's doing everything to make his boy comfortable. Thing.
I love it. I love Tyreek. He's a great teammate. He's a phenomenal teammate. But Sean Payton, he was going to be allegedly the next Dolphins head coach, team up with Brady.
Yep.
I'm going to take my headphones out so you guys could hear this because I don't know how else I'm going to get this to work. But just listen to what Sean Payton has to say about Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater.
Tua in Miami. I think at some point we'll see Tua in Miami. I think at some point, and they played well yesterday with Tua, but Teddy Bridgewater I've had before. He's an outstanding player. And I think that's one of the unique things this year. I counted 8 teams where I believe we're going to see multiple quarterbacks play, not relative to injury, but just a controversy, if you will.
Not relative to injury, but a controversy, if you will. Ronnie said he couldn't hear it. Did you hear it, Bobby?
I heard it. I heard it good, yeah.
Chat, did you hear it?
I wouldn't let you sit there and play a video I couldn't hear for a minute. I got you.
All right, maybe good. Ronnie's got to turn his hearing aid up. I don't know. But Sean Payton says there's at least 8 teams where he wouldn't be surprised if 2 quarterbacks play and it's not due to injury, but controversy. So, do you think he would say that about Justin Herbert? Probably not. Do you think you'd say that about Joe Burrow? Maybe after his performance on week 1, because that was dog water, but
it wasn't good.
It was Joe Burrow. But honestly, look, he's a Hall of Fame head coach. He's won a Super Bowl. He's worked with Drew Brees, who, by the way, that's Tua's comp. Like, we're all praying that he turns out to be Drew Brees. So if anyone knows Drew Brees' talent and what he's capable of doing, it'd be Sean Payton. So when a guy like that comes out and says there might be quarterback controversy in Miami, how does that make you feel?
I just wholeheartedly disagree with it. Like, I don't see eye to eye whatsoever. I don't care that Sean Payton coached in the NFL for all these years. Like, good for him. But quarterback controversy, the only reason there's quarterback controversy is the fans, to be honest with you. Like, no one in the building has ever said anything to the contrary this year.
Whoa,
this year.
Bobby, you're smoking crack rocks.
I'm talking right now.
First round pick for tampering with Tom, and we try to bring in Deshaun Watson.
I'm talking about right now. This new regime, everything obviously before this, Flores, Brady, all that happened. I'm talking right now. Mike McDaniel, 2022 Miami Dolphins. Tua is the starter. Tua is not getting pulled unless he is terrible. And like, he'd have to be so bad for him to get pulled. Like, if he continues to play like he did in the first game, he's not getting pulled. Teddy Bridgewater is not any better than that. Teddy Bridgewater is a worse quarterback than Tua, bro. We know what we have in Teddy. We've said the whole year, this team can go as far as Tua can help take it. And if Tua is terrible, the team's not going anywhere as it is. So why not just figure out what he is instead of trying to mend the gap, put Teddy in there, and win 8 games? All that does is put you in the hell that we've been in for all these years, bro. If Tua is really that bad, let him go out there and lose the games. Let's go have a better – we don't have a draft pick. Fuck. That just ruined that.
We have the Niners draft pick.
Yeah, and they look bad, which is thank God.
Well, they played in a tsunami, but
they lost to the Bears. Let's not make excuses to lose to the Bears.
But like
Bears.
Okay, whatever.
Bears.
Fair. Whatever. Fair.
Bears. If we lost to the Bears in a tsunami, me and you would have came on here raging, breaking everything. So I'm not giving that a pass, but I just think it's so short-sighted. What does Teddy Bridgewater do for this team? Bringing in Teddy. It doesn't do anything because we're not a playoff team with Teddy. We're not winning a playoff game with Teddy. We have Tua. We've said it all year. This is his year to prove himself. So this is his year to prove himself. He's got the year. Let's see what you can do, kid, because there's no other option. There's literally no other option, in my opinion. In the Skyler mob, the people that want Skyler to come in because he played good in a preseason, I love Skyler. He's not ready for that yet. He's not ready for that. Do I want to see him develop some more and maybe get a chance down the road? Sure, but don't give me Skyler should come in over Tua. Yeah, that's just nonsense.
Here's my thing. I disagree with Sean Payton that Teddy Bridgewater is going to play this year just because of controversy. I don't agree with that part of his statement. But what's concerning and alarming to me is the fact that the guy who coached Drew Brees is out here saying that he's watched Tua play, and he still thinks that Teddy Bridgewater could play over him. He doesn't see the talent, the potential, the ceiling that we're all praying for. That's my biggest takeaway from that, because this is Sean Payton. Me and you, I mean, we are not an NFL head coach. We've never drafted a player. We've never scouted a player. We've never prepped for a game day. We've never evaluated film and broke it down. Like, we watch film, but we don't see the game on the level that these guys do. So when a coach like that comes out there and says that about our quarterback, I'm kind of taking back a little bit. And I'm like, are we missing something here? Now, like I've said before, like, what I've seen from Tua has not been great. But I think he has the full year to prove himself and prove his worth. But when a guy with this much behind his name is out here saying, look, they're like Teddy Bridgewater might play over him out of controversy, does that concern you?
My honest take, this I truly believe this. What's the easiest way on a sports show to get clicks, at least from what I've saw? You go on there and you talk about Tua, you talk about the Dolphins. Sean Payton's out of the league. He's coaching now. That's what they do on these TV shows, bro. Because if they just gave like true earnest takes that were like level-headed, no one would watch it. So you got to come on the show. You got to bring some juice. So he comes on and says, Tua's not the guy. He's going to get benched. Teddy B's better. What does that do? Click, 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 click. I bet that video has hundreds of thousands of views. We're talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. That's what these talk shows do. That's why I don't put much weight into them whatsoever. So when I saw this, all I did was disagree with it and put no further thought into it because I don't care. Who cares what Sean Payton says? I don't. I could give a fuck less what Sean Payton says personally, but maybe that's just me. I also don't care what Skip Bayless says. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith says. I don't care.
But that's the thing. Like, those guys aren't NFL head coaches. Like Sean Payton, I don't think he's putting his words out there to be taken lightly or to be some clickbait guy. I don't see that.
I don't know. That's my take on it because I just don't see a world in which an NFL head coach says that the Dolphins should start Teddy Bridgewater over Tua. Like, I can't understand that.
Listen, Bobby, I agree with you.
I'm not arguing
with
you.
Teddy should see the field unless Tua gets hurt. But all I'm saying is, based off what you've seen from Tua in his 23, 24 starts, whatever it is, and Sean Payton still believes that Teddy might play over him just from a talent evaluation alone, because you know he would never say that. You want to talk about blowing up on clicks? What if he said, Justin Herbert's backup should play over him? Like, that'd be clicks, right? That'd be clicks.
That would be thrown away in the garbage because everyone would realize it's because Tua is vulnerable. He's a question mark. We all agree there. I'm not here saying Tua is the best quarterback in the world. There's no reason he should ever sit because he's so good and everything he's done on the field is amazing and spectacular. I'm saying that what we have behind him isn't better. He's going to have to prove himself this year and then see
Right.
where we go, because it just doesn't make any sense any other way. If he sucks this year, the team's going to suck this year, no matter who's playing quarterback, because there's no other options. So let him
Right.
suck. If he's that fucking bad where we can't even watch games because of how bad he is, sure, put Teddy in. The season's already at shit at that point. But I just can't see it. I think that's a crazy, crazy take. And I'd love to know who the other 8 teams are. Because I know some of them are easy. Like you can say the Steelers. Like the Steelers, obviously, at some point, Kenny Pickett's going to play. Or you could say Trey Lance isn't that good and you think Jimmy G is going to play.
That's 2. That's definitely 2. Carolina, if Baker sucks, that could be 3.
Okay.
Not Jacksonville, not Indianapolis, not Houston, not Denver, not Kansas City, not LA. Seattle, no, not really. Gino looked
After
like
Gino,
MVP.
after Gino was him on Monday night for the first half.
Mariota and Ritter, that could be 1.
Maybe Mariota looked
I
decent.
thought Mariota looked pretty good though. The Bears, no. Lions, no. Packers, no. Vikings, no. Commanders, maybe. With Heineke and Wentz, maybe down the road. Not the Eagles, not the Giants. Yeah, I think he's smoking crack rocks. I don't see 8 teams.
See what I'm saying, man? Like coming on national TV and saying stuff like that, people are going to take it at face value because you're Sean Payton and you're like, oh, it's Sean Payton, he must be right. But that's like, just because you're Sean Payton and you're a coach doesn't mean that you're omnipotent and you know everything in the world that's going on and you're a fucking super genius. Like, yes, the guy can coach football, but is he a take master? Like all of a sudden, like that's just a bad take in my opinion. So I don't give him any credence. I let it slide. Let them get their clicks, though. People will be talking about it. It is what it is.
I think it's a bad take, but I do believe it speaks to Tua's talent, or just based off what Tua has shown in these 2 years. And I think that's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair.
I mean, we've said it's an evaluation season. If
Right.
we were in love with
look,
Tua and Tua's
for the
done it all,
record-
we'd be locked in. We'd be like, Tua's the guy.
Right. Exactly. Like, we're not here to slob up on Tua and just
No.
give him a free pass. Like, we're trying to be the most level-headed, reasonable
Down the
Dolphin
middle.
fans right down the middle. If he plays great, God bless the kid. If he plays like shit, you're going to hear it. Like, that's how it is, and that's how it should be, whether it's Tua, Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, fucking Tyreek, Waddle, Brandon Jones, Sealer, like, you name them. Like, if they play like shit, they should be called out. If they play great, they should be praised. It is what it is. That is our job. Call it straight down the middle and pray that we win on Sunday. So whatever. I think we've talked enough about Tua. We talked about the Patriots game enough. I think it's time to close our yearbook and move on. And before we get into our mini preview, because obviously Friday is when everything goes down, when we really break into this game, we got to talk about the offensive line and the injuries. First of all, McDaniel, I think he did a fantastic job during the game, being able to adjust on the fly. I mean, we had 5 different people play tackle against the New England Patriots, and now we have Austin Jackson. I don't think he's going to play. I think his ankle is banged up. I don't see McDaniel. You guys know how he was in the offseason, a lot of load management, a lot of rest. I don't see him rushing him back to play this Baltimore Ravens defense. If you heard his press conference, they were asking him about his ankle, and he says, I don't know. I don't speak ankle. You're going to have to ask his ankle. Just typical McDaniel, quirky joke answer. I don't see him playing because he never came back, and his injury was pretty serious. However, Teron Armstead on the injury report today, which sucks, but he will play. He came back into the game. He finished the game. It says toe/veteran rest, so I do believe he's going to play. But just seeing him on the injury list already 1 week into the season, it's annoying. You know, it's annoying to say the least, and it's inevitable that he's going to miss time. I don't think he's going to miss week 2, but he's already dinked up after week 1. There's 17 more weeks to go. I think he's like a 12-year vet. I think he's been in the league for a really long time now. If he's already on that list after week 1, it's inevitable that he's going to miss time, but we're not going to get there until it happens. So God forbid, maybe he plays all 17 games this year, God willingly. That's what we're praying for.
Yep.
I do believe he will be out there against the Ravens, so that's a big win, but I do not think Austin Jackson is going to be playing.
I'm with you there on Austin Jackson. I don't think it looks great for him. I hope to God he gets out there for this game because we could really use him. He's better. He's a starter, so obviously he's better than his backup. But if he's not 100%, he's not ready to go, I'm fine with him missing the week. The big guy is Teron Armstead. Like we've been saying all year, he's not playing 17 games this year. We kind of already knew that going in, but you just don't think it's going to be fucking week 2, man. You think we at least get down the road and it happens somewhere, but when it pops up week 2, it is a little frustrating. It is nice to know that he did leave the game and then come back, so he was at least good enough to go then. And I also think that it's a good sign that they listed him as veteran rest / toe. Like, I think or is it toe or foot, whatever it is. But I think if he wasn't going to play, that veteran rest thing wouldn't be up there. It'd just be did not play, injury. He's hurt. But they put the veteran rest up there as well. Another thing the Dolphins did today, and it's not a crazy huge move, but I mean, we signed another tackle. I'm trying to look up his name because I don't even remember what it is. But based on what I've been seeing on Twitter and some of the reports, it looks like he's serviceable, solid. So I like that we're at least going out and getting someone else that can swing. Because what Flores would have done last year is he would have just shuffled everyone around. Eichenberg would be playing right tackle, and then it would have been musical chairs. And I don't want that. I'd rather have the continuity and then have guys behind that could step in when needed, rather than that musical chairs bullshit we were doing last year. So I'm at least happy there. We really need Armstead to play if Austin Jackson's going to play, because we can't afford to be down our 2 most important positions on the offensive line. But it is definitely a little scary, especially on a team that's short offensive linemen as it is.
Here's my thing, Ronald. So Ronald thinks that Shell can walk in and play. I don't believe that, or else he wouldn't be a free agent signing
What's
a
his
week
name?
into the NFL season. Brandon Shell.
Okay, thank you.
If he was that great, excuse me, if he could walk in and play, he would have been signed already. He would have already been signed by another NFL team. Does that mean he can't play? No. I think that if we need him to come in on the practice squad, get his reps in, learn the playbook, is he better than Keon Smith or Larnell Coleman? Yes, most definitely. So in that scenario, do I think he could walk in and play as a plug-in? Yes, I agree with that, because anything is better than seeing Larnell Coleman on the football field. If I see that happen, you might as well chalk that game up as an L, because he has no life against any defensive end, starting defensive end in the NFL.
No, I agree.
I'm just being real, because those 2 guys are terrible.
No, I definitely agree. I think the move had to be made. It's smart. It's proactive. Go get another guy so that when these injuries inevitably happen and already are happening, you have that guy there that can fill in and at least be decent. And another point that kind of leads me to is it shows that he had confidence in the secondary, because look what happens. You got a little bit of a concern of an injury at line. We go out and get a lineman. The secondary all year we've been saying, oh no, we have no depth there. We have no depth there. Little do we know they had confidence in our boys, Keon Crossing and Kohu. So I thought that was pretty cool. It showed that they knew what we had there. They didn't rush out to go sign someone because we needed it. They understood those young kids could ball a little bit. So I think that's cool. That was just another thing that kind of popped into my head throughout this whole process.
I think us signing him makes AJ's injury worse than it seems. I think like AJ could be out for a couple of weeks, because McDaniel, this whole offseason, we didn't go out there and sign another offensive lineman,
Right.
But when we lost Trill Williams, we went out there and signed. Well, we got finessed by I don't even remember his name, Alexander Madison, whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah. He wore number
That
34.
bozo he signed for one day and all of a sudden got hurt for sure, dude.
Mackenzie Alexander.
That's it, Mackenzie Alexander. But we never did that with the offensive line. Like he was always very confident with the unit. And now all of a sudden, AJ gets hurt. First thing we do, we go out there and sign another tackle. I think it's the right thing to do, but I also think it speaks on AJ's ankle might be a little more serious than we anticipated.
Yeah, it's one of those things that as a fan, like being in the dark there is kind of worrisome, because if you want to be able to project forward, like, is Austin Jackson going to be back this week? Is it next week? Is it the week after? Like, what's the deal here? So having to wait and hear that news, it's a little intimidating, a little scary with your starting right tackle already being out like that. But at least by Friday's show, we should have a little bit more information to go off of and have a better understanding of what's going to be going on. So fingers crossed he can get out there. Bigger fingers crossed that Armstead's out there. As long as Armstead plays, I think that there's not the most to worry about. You don't have to go into a full-blown panic. If both of them miss, it might be a little bit of a panic time versus the Ravens.
Most definitely. Waddle says, why are we not getting a center, though? Because Connor Williams graded out as our best offensive lineman. Like, aside from the first play of the game where he had that nervous high snap, Connor Williams played excellent. Like, he played really, really good. I was very happy with him at center. I know the first play was a high snap, but other than that, I thought he played a fantastic football game. So that's one. I like him there. And also, we have a lot of versatility on our offensive line. Like our two guards could play tackle, Dieter could play center and guard. So I'm comfortable with the versatility that we have on the offensive line, and I don't see center being a priority. I don't. I thought Connor Williams played great. I thought he played a really, really good game.
I agree, and the numbers agree with us. I when you watch a football game, and both of me and you, maybe you are. I'm definitely not, but I know there's people out there that are going through and watching a football game, and all they're looking at is like the offensive line to try and figure out what's going on. Like I'm not doing that. I'm watching the game.
That's how I watch every game. Like I start with the offensive line, and then like I'll look up like once the ball's out of his hand.
And when you watch a full game and you don't like notice a guy for a bad reason, it usually means he played a pretty good game as an offensive lineman. You don't want to be noticing your offensive lineman when you're watching a game. Unless
you know,
it's
a lineman played good when no one
pancake.
says their name.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most thankless job in the world. You just want to hope that guy plays solid, never have to talk about him, and that means he had a great day. It's a crazy world offensive linemen live.
I agree. Well, without him, we'd be useless. So God bless them. We needed them to play good, and hopefully they get healthy and ready to go. So this week we got the Ravens. We're in Baltimore. Bobby, go ahead and read the last 4 to 5 games that we played against the Ravens. Read the outcomes for the people.
Yeah, boys, this one isn't too good. This isn't the tweet you want to be reading when you're getting ready to go down to Baltimore and play a game. So the Dolphins in the last 4 visits to Baltimore. In 2017, we lost 40-0. In 2016, it was 38-6. In 2010, it was 26-10. And in 2005, it was 30-23. So we've been heading to Baltimore these last 20 years, anytime we had to go down there, and been getting our fucking ass kicked. And it's time for that to change, Smoke. It's time for that to change, bro. It has to.
You know how you were talking about clickbait and hot takes? Well, I got a hot take clickbait thing for you here. This game is going to decide who the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins is next year. If Tua does not show up and he looks like dog water and Lamar is out there running all over the place, throwing touchdowns left and right, Chris Greer is going to be in that booth just writing down numbers on a napkin, and he's just going to casually walk past Lamar Jackson and accidentally drop this napkin on the floor, and it's going to say 240 million G, guaranteed. Am I crazy for thinking that?
Are you crazy for thinking that Chris Greer would potentially tamper with a quarterback? I don't think so. It's happened before already, has it not? So that's definitely not a crazy thought. And to see Lamar Jackson, a guy in a contract dispute who has won MVP in his career, who's from our area, like, of course, that's interesting, bro. I'm all in for Lamar, and it has nothing to do with Tua aside. Lamar's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, and I think putting his speed on this Dolphins offense, I'd give him any number, blank check, do what you want, go get Lamar. I'm cool with that. Right. But the other part of your take where you say if Tua plays a bad game, you're out on him, that I can't get behind because it's the same thing, bro. I got to give him a window. I got to see what we got. It's going to be different week in, week out. I'll give you a comfortable answer on how I feel about Tua after week 4. After week 4, we will have played 4 very tough games against legit playoff teams. At that point, you're going to get a little bit of a read on where he is, where the team is. It's a measuring stick. Right off the gate, we have an absolute measuring stick. Because if Tua went out and balled against, say, Houston, the Bears, the Jets, weeks 1 through 3, people would be sitting up there like crowning him, ready to go. I like the measuring stick. I like the tough games. Let's see what the kid has. And at that point, I'll feel better to make a little bit of a judgment on him. But until then, I'm going to hold judgment and watch is how I feel.
Me and you play golf. Me and you, we bet on golf, more importantly. You know there's good cuts and bad cuts. You know, you missed a cut, but you gain strokes all across the board. And, you know, maybe you just missed a couple putts, you know. But overall, it's a solid, pretty solid performance. If Tua has a good cut, fine. But if Tua's out there and he's losing strokes putting off the green, around the green, off the tee, ball striking, approach. If he goes out there and he's fumbling the ball, still trying to force plays, bonehead interceptions where he's not even throwing it to a player wearing aqua and orange. He's throwing it to the opposing team. I don't need to see any more. It's been 24 games. 24 fucking games. Okay? This is year 3. This is not fucking year 1. This is not year 2. This is year fucking 3. And all I'm asking you to do is hold on to the football. Now, there's plays where your offensive line might get blown up and you might get lit up and strip sacked. That happens. But when you're forcing plays and acting like you want to be Lamar Jackson and you're putting the ball on the floor again, or you're doing this thing where they're about to take you to the ground and you're slamming the ball into the dirt where it could be intentional grounding or maybe even get yourself in a fumble, or you're throwing interceptions to the other team where there's not even a Miami Dolphins player within 15 yards. That's my problem. If he goes out there and does that, I'm good. I'm good because I didn't see anything change from week 1. And look, he has the rest of the season. But what I'm asking is not a lot. And what us Dolphin fans are asking for now out of a fifth overall pick, is not a lot. I mean, let's be real, Bobby. Me and you, we're boys. We talk to each other every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Our expectations for Tua are the bare fucking minimum.
They are.
No one's asking Tua to compete with Herbert anymore. No one's asking him to throw for 45 touchdowns. We're asking him to be the best game manager possible. Like that's what we're praying for. Am I wrong, Bobby?
Not at all. No, dude, you're 100% right. And I might come off like maybe I'm coming off like a Tua stan. I'm defending him. What I'm trying to do in my mind is just keep an open mind at this present moment, because I feel like getting on that bandwagon of Tua sucks this early, it doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't help you as a fan. It doesn't give you anything. Nothing's going to happen if you hate Tua now. But if we get to like week 6 and we're seeing what you just said, turn the ball over, ball on the ground, can't complete, I will take my Tua jersey in my closet and my Tua shirt. I will soak it in gasoline and I will light it on fire on this show. Like, I'm not here to slurp up Tua, bro. I just want what's best for the team, so I'm keeping that open mind. But if and when it comes to that point, I'll be right there with you and everyone else where I want better, I expect better, and enough is enough. And I will make that agreement. I will light that Tua jersey on fire on this show as soon as that moment turns where I feel it's over with, it's done. But until then, I'm just trying to keep an open mind, because I feel that being negative and being crazy overcritical isn't it. And I don't know if that's a bad mentality or how other people are doing it, but that's just how I have to be right now. Because when I get too low or too high on the Dolphins, some shit always happens. And I just need to kind of try and keep it as level as I can. On Sundays, I'm losing my fucking mind, believe me. But I've been trying to be a little more rational after the game and after that emotion leaves. So I'm willing to give them a chance. But when it gets to that point, believe me, I will be with the mob burning that shit at the stake. Believe me, I'll be there. I'm not here to
I'll be putting flowers all over it.
Facts. That's the better.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, week 2, like, no matter what I just said, like, what if Tua doesn't turn the ball over and he doesn't make that bonehead pick and he goes out there for 252 touchdowns? I'm happy as a damn bird. I'm happy. I'm flying around. Because, look, you could have the greatest quarterback and you're not going to win a Super Bowl. The defense looked great. Like, there are so many positives that we could take away from that first game that we could take into Baltimore. The defense looked amazing. Special teams looked fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I think our punter might have got hurt. I don't know. I got to look into that. That'd be a problem. Yeah, because he balled.
He's old.
Sanders looks back, okay? The weapons look fast as ever. The play design looks great as ever. If he goes out there, doesn't have – and I know he didn't officially have turnovers on the stat sheet, but if you guys watch the game, you guys know how absolutely blessed we got. Like, we got blessed that there was no turnovers on that stat sheet. If he goes out there and accepts when a play is dead and doesn't have that one throw, I don't care if it's, I don't care if Tyreek's running a post and Tua's trying to get it in there and the ball gets tipped, the cornerback makes a great play, ball's in the air, safety picks it off. That happens. I'm talking about the dipshit throw where there's not a Dolphins player in sight and it just hits the other team in the breadbasket. That can't happen. If he goes out there and he avoids those two things and he goes for 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, I'm happy. I'm loving life. Wow, that's a picture, man.
That's our punter. Our punter is a G, bro.
He's a beast.
And I just quick Twitter searched his name. That's what led me to this. I don't see any sort of injury news. I think he's good to go, and he's wearing the Pit Vipers, looking like an absolute stallion, pinning the ball inside the 5-yard line. It's a beautiful thing, and people don't talk about the special teams enough. Special teams win games, man.
Massive
McDaniels talked
part.
about it. In our punters fucking bombing balls, our coverage is getting down there and getting to the ball, our kickers making field goals. That's the little things that you just love to see, because that's going to contribute. Like those plays go kind of unnoticed sometimes. Oh, you miss a field goal early in the game. Oh, whatever. It's like, no, though, points. We need those points. And anytime you can put them on the board, you have to. Anytime you can flip the field, you have to. Those are huge plays, and I'm glad that our coach values that as well.
Yep. You have to have complementary football. All three phases. That's the only way you win. It's the only way you win in the NFL. So let's talk about Baltimore a little bit. They lost Jawan James. They lost a stud cornerback as well. Now, there's some things that concern me when playing Baltimore. Their ability to run the football inside and outside of the tackles. I don't think we did a good job against New England outside the tackles. I thought we did a pretty okay job inside the tackles. I think that's something that we should be worried about. But, I mean, you look at the film last year, and we manhandled them. I mean, we beat the living piss out of them. And that's when I think we gave the whole world the recipe on how to stop Lamar Jackson. But the thing is, now they have film on it.
Sure.
They have film on it. They're healthy. They're going to see the same exact defense. We brought everyone back, and they've had a full year to break down the film on what they can do or what plays will beat that. And to be honest with you, brother, without Byron Jones on that outside, unless they move Kader Kohou to the outside corner and move Nick Needham back inside the slot, you can't really blitz that much. Now, they don't have that deep threat weapon. I know they have Bateman, but I'm sure X will shadow him like he did Devontae Parker. But don't sleep on Devin Duvernay. He's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's a stud. Like, he's really quick. I think Kohou's going to have to shadow him because that kid is fast, and Kohou's fast as hell too. I just don't think you're going to be able to run that zero blitz as much as you'd like without Byron Jones out there.
No, man. And that was a perfectly executed game plan. Flores and the boys saw something last year that said, when you put crazy pressure on Lamar, he doesn't know what to do it all game long, and he couldn't stop it. After that, you have to think, I mean, other teams did it to him pretty successfully, but after a while, you have to think that every day in film, they were grinding out solutions and trying to problem solve that. So you're not going to beat them with the same thing twice. I don't think we're going to go out in there and just engage 8, blitz the shit out of them, play zero coverage, and just hope and pray that we can get home to Lamar. While I do think that's going to work in certain situations, situational blitzes are going to be huge in this game. I don't think that's going to be the recipe for success in that game whatsoever. And another thing you said about the corners is this is a nice game. This isn't one of those games. Next week, or Buffalo week, is the week we have to worry about Nick Needham playing outside corner. This week, I think we'll get away with it well. X will play Bateman. We'll look to shut down Andrews with Brandon Jones and Holland and a combination of all those guys. If you could take those two players and limit them, Devin Duvernay is not going to be the reason why the Miami Dolphins lose that game. I'm comfortable in saying that. So I think we match up decently with them. I haven't watched back the full Ravens-Jets game. I was following it along on Sunday a little bit.
I didn't.
How'd they look? Tell me about it. Because I didn't think the Ravens looked crazy.
They didn't look great.
I mean, the Jets hung around a little bit.
They didn't look great. They didn't look great at all. Their defense played really well, though. Their defense played really good. The offensive line, I mean, we could definitely get a pass rush on them. Mm-hmm. They're just going to run the ball. It's just going to be a grindy, low-scoring, ugly game. Like that's my prediction for that game. But I'm looking back from last year, Ravens versus Dolphins. Dude, we only won like 22-10 or something.
Yeah. It was one of those games where I felt like if you watched it, the game was
like we were like in control of it.
Yeah, we were
22-10.
We were like making Lamar Jackson like freak out. It was crazy. It was the most beautiful game. Yeah. Like that game gave me so much. Like I was so happy. One of those games where you go in. That was the first game we won from the losing streak.
Yep. Yeah. No, we won the Texans game, and then we won the Ravens. And went on a tear.
It was one of those games where you go into it. My fucking morale was in the dirt. We were 0-7. I was ready to never buy a Dolphins merch again in my life. And then you go out there and you absolutely dominate them. It was a stunner. It was beautiful. I think this year it's going to be less of that because I'm going into this game expecting to win. Are we small underdogs? For sure we are. But I think that we definitely have a chance in this game. I think it's a great matchup. I really do. It's going to be a great measuring stick. We're really going to see where we're at because Baltimore is a legit football team. They always have been. They're running in just. When's the last time the Ravens have been dog shit? Not in my
Last
memory.
year.
They were
For them, they were dog shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
when we
them,
played
exactly.
them, they were 6-3. What'd the Ravens finish last year? They got bullied with injuries. I really felt bad for them.
Yeah, they did.
They finished dead last in the AFC North.
With like
Dude,
8
what
wins.
the fuck is this shit? They finished 8-9. So they only won 2 games after they played.
That's the Ravens' dog shit season is 8-9. That's what I'm saying. It's always a great football team. So anytime you play them, it's like you're getting a real test here. And I think that we're up for the challenge, man. I hope that we establish that run a little bit more, and then that we start hitting some long passes, not long, but hit more pass. Like because there was a couple in that game last week where Tua could have hit Tyreek on that long crosser over the middle of the field. Tyreek might have dropped it. It might have been Tyreek's fault. But just more of those. I want to see some connections, some chemistry where guys are getting Tyreek's beats a guy to a season and throws it up over the top. Like once we get that home run play, it's going to feel so good and we're just going to want it all the time. But I really want to see us hit one. And I know we kind of did it in the Waddle one. We did it in the Waddle one. But I want to see more of that. And that's asking for a lot to ask for home runs. But I think we're due for a couple in this Ravens game.
I think we're due for a bunch of home runs this season. I don't know if you've seen the talent on this team, but it's pretty elite, man. I mean, I would consider that Waddle touchdown like a mini home run, or at least like a double or a triple.
Nah,
I mean, he crib talked it. That's a 47-yard touchdown.
4th and 7 too.
47-yard touchdown on 4th and 7.
That's a home run.
That
I agree.
Maybe just a one Campbell. I think he's going to be a problem. I think that's a matchup problem, unless because he plays on the right side. Turan's obviously our left tackle.
Calais is
him going up against Greg Little or whoever the hell is going to play right tackle, that could be a problem for us. But think about McDaniel. Oh, that triggered something. So the Ravens, and I'll get back to our offense versus their defense. Dude, they run so many I've seen them run sets with 2 tight ends and 3 tight ends on the field at the same time.
They load
like you're going to see the Ravens line up with 2 to 3 tight ends lined up on like the right or left side to run the football. Like they are here to smash you in the mouth. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how we match up with that personnel wise, because dude, I've seen them come out in 22 personnel. They might even came out in 31 personnel. I don't even know if that's possible, but dude, they had so many tight ends out there playing.
They didn't run it good against the Jets, though. I'm going to watch that game before Friday so I can speak on it a little bit better. But, I mean, Kenyon Drake, leading rusher for 31. Lamar had 17. Mike Davis had 11. They didn't run the ball versus the damn Jets.
Right.
And that's kind of telling because we all know the Jets, maybe they're a little better than they've been in years past, but the Jets aren't a playoff team. They don't have a playoff roster. So them not being able to run it against the Jets may be a little telling. I'll be curious to watch that game back to get a little bit of a better perspective on it. But I don't know, man. Are they going to run it all over us? I don't know.
No, I don't see them running it all over us. I don't see that. Like I said, I think it's going to be really ugly. I know they don't have Kyle Fuller, but they have Marlon Humphrey. They have Marcus Peters, so they still have good corners.
Maybe Peters.
No,
hopefully not.
Peters, he's questionable, right?
Yeah, he didn't play the first game, but they didn't put him on the PUP, so they obviously assume he's going to be back sooner rather than later. Him not being out there would be a major benefit for the Dolphins. And again, I'm not rooting for injuries, but when your team is playing a team, you'd rather the good players not play against you. So that's kind of where I stand on that. But not having
you hope they don't play against you and come back the week after.
Exactly. It's you're a fan of the team, bro. You want everything to break right for your team. But I think we could beat them, dude. I really do.
I think we should beat them. If we're the team that we think we are, we should beat them. Now, look, let me be very fair. Because I said I expected to beat the New England Patriots. I demanded a win that game. However, if we lose to Baltimore and it's an absolute dogfight, and like I see how hard that we fought, and it was a good game, and it came down to maybe a play or a stupid penalty or something like that. Like I could live with that, because like my stick has always been Buffalo. You got to beat Buffalo at least once, or else you could beat the Ravens. You could beat whoever the hell you want. If you can't beat Buffalo one time, you're not going to be a real contender in the AFC. Now I know Buffalo is a great team. Like don't get it twisted. They are the team to beat, not only in the AFC but in the NFL.
Yep.
But if they're in your division, and they're coming into your house and just whipping your ass every single year, and this is the best roster you've had in 22 years, it's not enough. You got to win, or even if you have to, and I hate moral victories. But if that's what's good enough for this fan base to be like, oh, we only lost the 3 against Buffalo, like that's a win. Let's go out there and smack the shit out of the Bengals and say we smacked the Bengals. I might have a little bit of change of heart, but I still know at the end of the day, we're not Super Bowl contenders. I'm not expecting us to win the Super Bowl this year. I want us to make the playoffs, win a playoff game. That's my goal. Anything else is icing on the cake. Make the playoffs, win the playoff game. But like I said, 2-2, starting 2-2 through these first 4 games is fine by me. I don't care which ones they are. I prefer it to be Buffalo and New England, and obviously I would love 3-1 or 4-0. I would love 4-0. Would love 4-0, but my bare minimum is 2-2. Okay? So if we lose to the Ravens, I'm perfectly fine with beating Buffalo or the Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion. So I'm not going to sit here and hit the panic button. Oh my God, we suck. We're not doing anything if we lose to Baltimore. I'm not going to do that. If we start 2-2 or 3-1, I mean, we are set up to have a fantastic season this year.
Yeah. I mean, hello, Captain Obvious. But if we can start 2-0, I think it'd be great for the team, obviously. But just with that 4-game stretch we have in front of us, winning those 2 is huge. It takes the pressure off a little bit, but you want that pressure on. I forget who said it the other day.
Well, it takes the pressure off us fans. I feel like if we win, it might intensify going into week 3. Because if we're 2-0,
how good we are.
Right. Imagine if we're 2-0 and we play Buffalo and they spank our ass, dude, that'll kill our morale.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose to the Ravens and beat Buffalo. If we go 2-0 and get smacked by Buffalo, I'm talking about 2-3 touchdown defeat, that would destroy the morale of this football team.
The only blessing that we have is that Buffalo game is we got a game Thursday the next week. So if things don't go according to plan, it's a quick turnaround. It's a bounce back game, in my opinion.
Yep. And that Bengals offensive line looks shit.
No, they look.
I think that Bengals game looks a lot more winnable than it did before.
I've been saying that.
Now again, it was week 1. It was week 1. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to have 5 interceptions or 5 turnovers again. I don't think so. But who knows? Maybe it's a post-Super Bowl regression. I don't know. But that game looks a lot more winnable, even without Byron Jones on the football field, because I think our defensive line will wreak havoc.
That Steelers defense is elite, though. Every time I see Minka make a good play, it makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit because we all knew how special of a player he was.
Poor went out for TJ.
Poor went out for me because I got $100 on TJ to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Rip.
More importantly, I think I'm going to reinvest that into Micah Parsons, by the way. But, yeah, it is what it is. And looking at this box score, bro, Joe Flacco threw the ball 60 times against the Ravens last week. 60 times. Old man Joe. That's
shit.
For 300 yards, too. So, I mean, I got to watch that tape. It's hard to comment on a game just looking at a box score. You can't do it. And if that's how you make your opinions, you're not doing it right. You got to actually go back and watch. So I definitely will before the game. But I'm looking forward to it, bro. This is a real measuring stick, and I can't wait to see how the boys come out. If we're not going to win with the performance we did against the Patriots, I'll say that there needs to be some improvement.
I want to make this very clear. Although I believe we're the better team than the Baltimore Ravens, it would be a huge win to go into Baltimore, a place that we haven't won in the last 5 times, and walk out of there with a win. That'd be great. That'd be great. Winning as an underdog on the road, that's a great win. Great win. And, bro, Jim Harbaugh, he's up there as one of the best head coaches in the NFL. Oh, John, I'm looking at your stupid Michigan sign. I love John Harbaugh.
Okay.
I think he's a fantastic head coach. And if McDaniel goes out there and he beats Belichick and John Harbaugh as his first 2 wins, and he beats them on the road in Baltimore, dude, that's a great win for this organization. Great win. Dude, and then imagine if look, we could play the imagining. What if he beats Buffalo? If we beat Buffalo, I already told everyone, if we beat Buffalo, we will go to the Super Bowl. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. But I don't want to take anything away from if us winning this game. Like, that is massive. Dude, winning this week means way more to me than beating the Patriots. I mean, whichever current week means more to me than the week before, right? But I think this is a much better measuring stick to see where we're really at, because I anticipated us to win by double digits against the Patriots, and we did it.
Yep.
So now let's go out there on the road and let's kick some Raven fucking ass, because I'll never forget what they did to me. My first ever Dolphins playoff game, by the way, they've only been to 2 since I've been alive. We won the AFC East. The Ravens came into town, and I remember their fans were just walking around throwing bird seeds at me, bird seeds at all our Dolphin fans. Like, dude, they had the balls, dude. They had McDaniel balls walking around that, like, throwing seeds all over the place. And they whooped our ass 27-9. And I'll never forget that. I was so excited. The Dolphins are in the playoffs. Oh my God, I'm at a playoff game. And then we got killed. So anyway, I hope the Dolphins organization, that they preach that they show the tape, that it hasn't been easy playing this team, and we should just go out there and put the absolute fucking smackdown on them and whip their ass. I would want nothing more. And I think we could do it. That's the best part.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I read the record. I read what we've been doing when we go to Baltimore these last 20 years. It's been a slaughtering. If you can go into Baltimore and get a dub, like, that's a huge
Great
win. And like you said, bro, Harbaugh is the real deal. The Ravens as a team are the real deal. When you start knocking off teams that are good and people know are good, that's when you start gaining that respect around the league. And that's when you start, like, people start recognizing you and you get put on notice. You start becoming the favorites in those games, man. And I think we're right there. And I think this win would do a lot in people's eyes. Like, I'm not talking about Dolphins fans, because obviously Dolphins fans are watching. I'm talking about the league. Like, we would put the league on a bit of notice. All of a sudden, you'd start seeing shows like, are the Dolphins legit? Are the Dolphins going to do this? Are the Dolphins going to challenge? Like, the storyline, if we play Buffalo and we're both 2-0, are the Dolphins actually challenging the Bills for the division? That's going to be the talk. It's going to go from Dolphins are number 2 in the division. It's going to be a legit conversation, in my opinion. So let's get our ass to Baltimore and handle business so we could have some fucking fun this year, man.
I think we're just going to end on that. I think that's the best way to end this show. If you haven't already, I got to ask sooner. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. We're trying to hit 2,000. I should have asked earlier. So many of you are here right now. I love you guys so much. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And make sure you come back. I need to see you guys here on Friday, 5 p.m. We're going to go balls deep into this Ravens preview. We're going to have you guys fired up, ready to run through a wall. Today was Analysis Wednesday. Friday is Fired Up Friday. I'm going to have you ready to hop on the fucking jet and get out there to Baltimore. So please come back here Friday, 5 p.m. I love each and every single one of you guys so much. And as always, fins up.
Fins up, baby.